Dear students, today we are going to start with the language components based on the poem You Start Dying Slowly, written by Pablo Neruda. In the previous sessions, we have already seen the introduction to the writer, introduction to the poem, and the analysis of the poem, and also the annotations and short questions. So, this session will completely deal with the language components based on this poem. We shall start with the first category of language components. Now, let me repeat. Under language components, you have 5 categories prescribed to you. Punctuation is the first one. Second one is framing question. Third one is use of negatives. Fourth one is linkers. And fifth one is reading comprehension. Now, under punctuation, you are supposed to focus on the commonly used punctuation marks to be used in the sentence. Now, which are the commonly used punctuation marks? First one is capital letter, then comes comma, inverted commas, it can be either singular or double inverted commas, question mark, exclamatory mark, and full stop. So these are the most commonly used punctuation marks. So whenever a sentence is given to you, you will have to check which punctuation mark is necessarily to be used in a particular sentence. Now you can see the example which is given here. Now the sentences are there in your textbook as well. So I'll explain how the punctuation marks are used in all those sentences. Now let us see the first sentence. Raju said, Ramesh, you should go to Bangalore and then to Chennai. So there are no much punctuation marks which are given in this sentence. So how do we go about this? Now Raju said, Raju, R must be capital. Now what did Raju say? He says, Ramesh, you should go to Bangalore and then to Chennai. So this is in direct speech. So since this is in direct speech, you will have to put that dialogue in double inverted commas. So whatever is said by Raju, that entire sentence comes within inverted commas. So after Raju said, you use a comma and then start your double inverted commas, and then Ramesh, R should be capital as it is a proper noun. Ramesh, he is addressing Ramesh. So when you are speaking, when you observe in a simple way, you give a short pause when you use the word Ramesh. After that, you give a short pause and then continue the sentence. Ramesh, you should go to Bangalore and then to Chennai. This is how we say. Ramesh, you should go to Bangalore and then to Chennai is not the way to read the sentence. Ramesh, give a short pause. You should go to Bangalore and then to Chennai. So whenever you give a short pause, there should be a comma. So Ramesh, comma, you should go to Bangalore and Chennai. Bangalore and Chennai will take the initial letters as capital letters because they are proper nouns. And towards the end of the sentence, you close the double inverted commas. Now moving on to the next sentence. Lata asked Sanjay, where are you going? Now here also we don't see appropriate punctuation marks. So to begin with, Lata. Lata, L capital as it is a proper noun. And Lata asked, Sanjay, where are you going? So since this is a sentence spoken by Lata, it comes within inverted commas as it looks like a direct speech. So Lata asked, comma, inverted comma start, Sanjay, comma, where are you going? Question mark and inverted commas close. So Sanjay is capital. Again, it's a proper noun. Now there is another way of answering this question as well. Lata asked Sanjay, comma. Then start inverted commas. Where are you going? Question mark, inverted commas close. So the word Sanjay can either come inside the inverted commas or outside. Both are correct answers. Now coming to the second category of language components, framing questions. Now when we have to frame questions, we should have two kinds of questions in our minds. One is WH question The other one is yes no question. Now if you get a sentence like this first sentence where you have the instruction in the brackets, frame a question so as to get the underlined words as answer. Now whenever you get a sentence like this, you are going to frame a WH question. So underlined words will be the answer only when you frame WH question. So what are WH questions? The questions which start with WH words. Now WH words you must be familiar with already, like the words like what, why, when, where. All these are WH words. So to suit this sentence, use a proper WH word and then frame a sentence. Now here for this sentence, experts have forecast heavy rains. The question which is framed is, what have the experts forecasted? Now here, one more thing you need to keep in mind is, you should retain the tense of the sentence. Now, in the sentence, you can see present tense. The same tense can be used. It should be used in your answer also. Now the second one, the explorer talked about his fabulous adventures in Africa. Again, the underlined word, the explorer. If you have to frame a question for the underlined word to be an answer, then again WH question. The answer is, who talked about his fabulous adventures in Africa? So the tense is also maintained here. That's how you answer the question. Now moving on to the third sentence. Yes, extreme cold caused the engine to fail. Now convert into yes no question. Yes no questions will always start with the auxiliary verb or a helping verb. Now which are these helping verbs? I hope the language components will be like a revision for you, because we are discussing language components after every poem. So whatever I am telling you sounds like a repetition, but grammar can be learnt only by repeated practice. So that's the reason I am repeating every time I come across these sentences. So yes no question will start with helping verbs, and the helping verbs are be verbs, have verbs, do verbs and modals. All these can function as helping verbs. So we have to start with one of those verbs. Now this third question, yes extreme cold caused the engine to fail. The question which is framed on this sentence is, did the extreme cold cause the engine to fail? We have retained the tense, at the same time we have framed the question. Now fourth sentence, yes the child has blue eyes. Convert into yes no question. Here also we have retained the tense, that is present tense, and then we have framed the question which is yes no question. Does the child have blue eyes? Now the third category of language components is use of negatives. Under use of negatives, what we are supposed to focus on is that a sentence, if it has a negative word like not, no, never, then it becomes a negative sentence. Then if you have to change that sentence into a positive sentence or affirmative sentence in particular, then we have to remove the word not or never or no. Whatever word exists in that sentence, we'll have to remove that word. So the logic behind this is, if you have a negative sentence, to make it a positive sentence, remove the word not. If you are given a positive sentence, to make it a negative sentence, you have to add the word not. So using this logic or this grammatical aspect, we are going to answer the questions here. Sangeeta doesn't work hard. Convert into an affirmative sentence. So in the sentence given, you can see the word not. So if you remove that word, you get the answer. Sangeeta works hard. Now the next one, the club may hold its monthly meeting next Monday. Convert into a negative sentence. Now again, if you can see that there is no negative word in the given sentence, so you have to add the word not in the answer and give the sentence. The club may not hold its monthly meeting next Monday. Now the next one, Virat Kohli played well in the last match. Convert into a negative sentence. Now you can see that there is no negative word in the given sentence. We are going to add the negative word in the sentence. Virat Kohli didn't play well in the last match. In the next sentence, the team is not hopeful that it will win the championship. So to change it to affirmative sentence, you are supposed to remove the word not. The team is hopeful that it will win the championship. Now sometimes in a few sentences you can see change it into affirmative sentence. In some other sentence you can find change it into assertive sentence. Whether it is assertive or affirmative, both are positive sentences, so you don't have to worry about those words. If you have the word not in the question, in your answer, remove the not, remove the word not. If you do not have the word not in your question, your answer, you will have the word not. Now moving on to the next category of the language components, that is linkers. We have seen in the previous poems about linkers. I had already told you that linkers is another name given to conjunctions. So linkers are nothing but conjunctions. So here are the sentences, and below the sentences you are given the choice of the linkers. You will have to choose the correct conjunction or a linker and fill in the blank. The answers are here. Leave now or else you will be late. MS Dhoni is not only a batsman but also a wicket keeper. They did not enjoy the trek because of the rains. He went to Bangalore in order to get a job. Though he ran fast, he could not catch the train. I think it's a easier one of all the language components, because the answers are already given here. You will have to just pick and fill appropriately. But one thing again I would repeat, you should know the meaning of these linkers to fill it appropriately. If you do not know the meaning, then it will be a guesswork, and guesswork may not be correct all the time. So please try to see what the linkers mean. Try to learn as many conjunctions as possible, and then it will be easy for you to answer this section of the question paper. Now moving on to the next, we have comprehension passage. Comprehension passage is a passage given to you to read and understand, comprehend, and then answer the questions which follow the passage. Now here let me read the passage for you, which is there in the textbook again. On 10th April 1912, the largest and the finest luxury ship in the world, the Titanic, sailed from Southampton in England to New York. She was carrying more than 2,000 people. Everyone thought that she could never sink. They called her the unsinkable ship. The journey was very comfortable. For 4 days, the Titanic sailed smoothly. On 14 April, the night was cold, the sky was clear, and the sea was calm. Time ticked on. 11:40. On top of the ship, the man who kept the watch suddenly saw an iceberg which stood right in the path of the Titanic. Captain Smith and his crew fought hard to steer the ship away from the iceberg, but its side scraped the iceberg. There were big holes along the ship's side through which water began to pour into the engine room and lower decks. Captain Smith began to send radio signals at 12:15. Help! Struck an iceberg. But the radio of ships had been shut at 12 o'clock. The Titanic was sinking rapidly. Then at 2:20 a.m. on 15 April, she vanished into the sea forever. So this is the passage. Now based on this, a few questions are given. I repeat, the questions can be either referential questions or inferential questions. For referential questions, you can get the answer directly from the passage. For inferential questions, you will have to frame your own answer after understanding the passage. Now let's look into the first question. When did the Titanic begin its voyage? The answer is directly there in the passage, on 10 April 1912. What did the people call the Titanic? Again, the answer is there in the passage, the unsinkable ship. So these two questions become referential questions. Now the third question, what did the man who kept watch notice at 11:40 p.m.? An iceberg which stood right in the path of the Titanic. So this is also a referential question. Now who tried to steer the ship away from the iceberg? Captain Smith and his crew. Again a referential question. And the last question, why couldn't the ships receive the radio signals? The radio of ships had been shut at 12 o'clock. This also is a referential question. So we can see all the questions only referential here. Now in your examination, you may get a combination of referential and inferential or only referential questions. So be precise, don't give too much of explanation. You will have to pick the right sentence or phrase which is the answer for the question. Don't use the sentences before the answer or after the answer to give the explanation. So be very precise in answering the questions based on the passage. I hope this analysis and the explanation of the language components is clear to each one, and this should help you in answering the questions in your examination, because this will be a kind of, after every poem we are discussing each and every unit given in the textbook. So this should be a good revision for you to understand the concepts. Thank you very much.